Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Hello. Thank you for joining me this fine Sunday evening. This is CptWoozle again, spending another Sunday evening writing code. Though I did spend quite a bit of time writing code before Sunday evening too. So, continuing down our Centipede development path. The last time I was on here, I realized that I need to make some changes to how the Centipede segments work. Over last night, last night, I kind of sat down and rewrote the Centipede segment structure into a version 2. And at this particular point, I'm sitting down and just kind of finishing that particular piece up. I don't think it's by any means perfect, but I think that I don't know if there's much worth for me spending so much more time on it. And I've kind of broken things off into some final pieces. So let's kind of do a rundown quick of what we have so far. So to kind of break everything down, what I did is I created a Centipede v2 class. We're still going to pass in our X and our Y location. We're going to allow for a customized color, just because in the Centipede game, when the levels change, the colors change. We're going to allow for an increase of speed and a variable length and a custom direction. We're then going to go down and create the individual segments. We actually made the segments a bit dumber. So we have the create segments here, which go ahead and creates a segment. We take our X coordinate as it comes in and we move it. Let's make this the full screen. We take our individual, let's open you up here. We take our individual X variable and we have it so that it creates the pieces in whatever direction we're going, so to the right or to the left. We have a run statement just like before. This time we're going to pass in the mushrooms that we want to try to dodge. And then lastly, our draw is pretty easy. It just loops through and does the draw segment. We have our mushroom pieces here. And I've broken it up into a series of kind of smaller functions, where this time we have the handle segment for the edge collisions, and then we have the handle collisions with mushrooms. Now the segments for the collisions deals with handling Y collisions and handling X collisions and Y collisions. So basically vertical collisions and horizontal collisions. The X collisions deal with our collisions to the edge, which is pretty much the only ones we really have to deal with, so it bounces off the wall. The mushrooms are handled somewhere else, so this just handles the collisions off the wall. One of the things that I noticed when I went and as I was looking at the code this time around is we need to move. Every time it hits the wall, it needs to move the segment up a little bit. One of the things that I noticed was when it would bounce off the wall and the other piece tried to catch up, it was bouncing because each of the different pieces are slightly behind the other. It was bouncing and some of the pieces were moving ahead, so forth and so on. So we move each segment to the margin. We change the direction of that particular segment. We move it down the diameter of the centipede, which is only 10. Excuse me. We move it down. And if it's not the first segment, because we're never worried about the first segment, we have it catch up to its sibling. So we grab the previous segment and we have it catch up. And that way we can increase the speed and have it move down the screen pretty well. And we do something similar for the Y collisions. So for the vertical collisions, we have to deal with the top and a bottom. So when we hit the bottom, we do something similar where we move to the margin of Y, we change the direction, and we change the direction, and then we say that we've hit bottom. And then for the Y, the top collision, we do the same thing, because remember when the centipede hits bottom, it just kind of bounces itself back and forth between the top and the bottom. And then we started looking at the collisions with the mushrooms. So here's the collisions with the mushrooms. We loop through everything. we check whether we collided with a mushroom. We move ourselves to the outside of the mushroom. That way we don't have to worry about that. We change the direction, and we move down. If we've hit bottom, we kind of loop within there, so we don't want it to. We want to make sure that once we've hit bottom, any mushrooms within that area we compensate for, and we then catch up to our siblings. Now, sorry about that. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is that as I've been working on this, the mushrooms are getting harder and harder to compensate for and smoothly. So I'm thinking about ultimately just not having it compensate for those. But this is kind of what it looks like so far. Now we have it kind of moving down the screen like this. Currently it's at a speed of 1. You see it bounces off the walls pretty well, and it manages to keep its shape. So, and keep the distance between each of the pieces. Now, one of the things that we can do is we can, let's move you over. Yeah. Let's move you over here. So one of the things that is great about this is with the current rewrite of the code or refactor, we can change the centipede speed. So let's go ahead and use our variable now that we have it. Centipede speed is equal to 1. And whenever we create a new centipede, we just set it to the centipede speed. So our default centipede speed is 1. As you can see, it kind of moves pretty well down the screen. And then if we up it to 2, even though we're bouncing off the sides, one of the things you noticed before is we had it so that when it bounced, the pieces started to run into each other. And if you notice, we no longer have that problem. So it's a bit smoother, which is nice, even if we jump up to like speeds of like 5 and 6. So that's kind of nice. And let's pause things in here. So as you can see here, even though we've bounced off the wall a few times and bounced off of mushrooms, we still have the proper distance between each of the pieces. So that's kind of nice. Now I've noticed right off the bat there's some other problems that I've noticed. So that's what I've been just trying to figure out, is how to just capture all of those problems, and ultimately, I can just get rid of the mushrooms or make the mushrooms more uniform. So that's kind of been my struggle, is how do I deal with and compensate for those mushrooms? And I don't know if I really need to. I think that I could polish this into a better game, but I'm not sure if it's worth it past the point. Like, everyone's played Centipede. I don't think there's any interest. It's just something that I did kind of out of fun. I think there's other things that I would probably rather spend my time polishing. So like, I don't know if a Tetris game would be, kind of neat to do. Maybe a Pong game, a couple of those. I wanted to make a side scroller, so I think there's some other really neat things that I would much rather spend my time doing. So let's go ahead and finish off a few things. I'm going to move it so that I'm going to add in the bullet interactions for the centipede. We are going to do a couple of things. So let's pull up our notes here so that we have it. So what the next few pieces that we're going to work on we're going to add bullet collisions for the centipede. So that when the centipede is hit with a bullet, it compensates for that. We're going to add ship collisions for the centipede, so that's taken care of. And then lastly, we're going to implement the levels. And now the level implementation is going to be pretty easy. We're just going to loop through, but we're going to say for level 1, it's going to be 1 centipede and 1 spider. And then for level 2, we're going to do 1 1 centipede, 1 spider, and only 20 mushrooms. When we get to level 2, we're going to do 1 centipede, 2 spiders, and 22 mushrooms. Yeah, we'll do 22. When we get to level 3, we're going to increase that to 2 centipedes, 2 spiders, and we'll do 25 mushrooms. So that's going to be our progression. We'll only do a handful of levels. When we get up to level 5, we'll increase the speed. So we'll do 4 centipedes, 2 centipedes, 3 spiders, 27 mushrooms. If I could spell mushrooms. And then when we get to level 5, we'll do 3 centipedes, 4 spiders, and 30 mushrooms. So those are our levels that we're going to introduce so far, and that's how we're gonna do our progression. It doesn't need to be a very fast progression, but I wanted to at least show it. So let's go ahead and knock out the bullet collision for the centipede. Now I've done this before, so all this is kind of repeating that. We have a bunch of event listeners that already listens for it, and the only thing that we need to really do is compensate for when we actually hit the centipede. So in our game previously, what we had done was we no longer need to handle this. We do need to handle the bullet collisions. So we come back up over here to our move, and we add in a handle bullet collisions. Handle bullet collisions. And we're going to pass in, let's make these arrow functions. We're going to pass in all of our bullets. And again, probably later on in the week, because this is Sunday, we'll start tackling another game probably, or application that we want to work on. More than likely, it'll be another game. So we have our handle bullet collision, and we pass in our bullets. Now again, we've done this before in version 1, so it's going to be very similar to that. So we need to go through, and yeah, we have a handle bullet collision here. So it's going to be pretty much the same thing. We just have to implement it. So here we go. So we get our mushrooms. Let's take a look. If there's no bullets, then we don't return anything. Then don't do anything at all. Then just return. And then we loop through our bullets. Collect our current bullet. We get our segment. If it collided with circular object, and now this is where we have our version 1. So we did have a collide with circular object, and we're just going to call it collide with bullet this time, rather than collide with circular object. So let's go to the current segment up here. We have our segment class here. Collided with bottom, collided with top, move to the outside of the mushroom. Did collide with bullet. And we're going to pass in a single bullet. And then we're going to do our return of this. if we collided with circle, the bullet, there's no vector y, no vector x. That's the other thing that I did with this segment, is rather than use vectors, I just used a static x and a static y. So that way it was a little cleaner rather than constantly doing vectors. Now we do dis.collide with circle, and then we can come down here to our bullet collision, and we would say centipede piece did collide with bullet. We get the current bullet, and we want to remove this piece. So we get the current segment and create a new mushroom when hit. And the random centipede, we decide which way it's going to go, so we create a new centipede. The start piece and the length, start piece and the length. Cool. We delete the bullet, and we then dispatch an event which will create our new centipedes. Now I imagine this is not going to work, and I'm going to crash it, but you know, thus the love of programming and how that goes. So for each single centipede, we handle our bullet collision, and we get all of our bullets. So this potentially will handle, according to our list. Our list was we add bullet collisions. Hello, gentle persons. Hi, how's it going? So this, going down the list of things I wanted to work on this time around, was add bullet collisions for the centipede. And let's test it real quick and make sure that it works. It should destroy our centipede piece, and no. Well, I thought that would happen. Let's take a look at what went wrong. Let's open you up. Move vertically is not a function. That's right. One of the things that I did when I implemented version 2 of the Centipede code was I didn't have nearly as many functions. So what we need to say is, instead of move vertically, I said move Y. That I felt was a bit more accurate of a statement, because you're moving, it is still, I mean, they're both the same. You're moving vertically, but I just said move Y rather than move vertically, because I thought it would be, again, more accurate, because we are just moving the Y direction, because we're not, I guess we're splitting hairs here. So we're going to move Y down and move vertically. And now this isn't exactly, I realized that the Wikipedia page for the Centipede game actually was pretty detailed in exactly how it worked, and I realized that I was trying to figure it all out from just looking at it, but it's pretty detailed, and I probably could have just used that rather than trying to guesstimate certain things. So we move down at this particular point. Ooh, well, I'm just puzzled, because some people apparently think that being kind and patient, it can be a very tough line to draw. I can get why some people might say that. Most people, I think, run into the problem of, if they're too kind, people think that they can run over them, and it can be a really tough line to draw. Like, it can be a really tough line to draw. I don't know if there's a right answer per se, but like, everyone has their different levels of like where they draw the line, and I think that some people draw the line earlier than you might. So they might be like, all right, I was kind up until, to draw it out. If you have patience levels from like 1 to 10, and let's say that your patience level is here at a 7. Patience level, yeah, if yours is at a 7, but then other people's are just way up here at a 3, they might consider anything, of course, below that to be being like spineless. And there's a bunch of, I think, social structures that go along with that, depending upon what part of the world you live in and your cultural perspective. So, like, some people might consider certain things culturally to be more acceptable. Not that I know 100%, but I think culturally, the Japanese, for instance, are considered to be far more publicly patient, and some of the Koreans are considered to be publicly patient from a societal perspective. But that's where that comes from. So other cultures and groups socially may not be like, no, we aren't nearly as patient. As an American, I would say that is one of the things that we are not known for, is being the most patient. So when in America you do things, we can be very quick to be like, nope, not allowed. So that's where that answer. But it's nuanced. Like, I hate to say, it's nuanced because, again, it's nuanced because, again, culturally, we in America might be like, how could the Japanese let that happen? And then in Japan, they're like, it's not like we're happy with it, but like culturally, it's not a thing that we necessarily would balk at. Whereas other cultures might be like, you Americans are far too impatient. You go back and forth. So you have that. And then there are subgroups within that decide whether something is or isn't patient. You can try to explain your perspective past the point, but I think what you're going to run into is you might get some clarity. If you ask the people who disagree with you, they might explain to you why they might feel that way if they're inclined to do so. But it may just always be a point of contention where you just have to accept that, like, not everyone's going to agree with you. I would say, though, that, just make sure that you aren't letting anyone, take advantage of you. So let's see. When we destroy the centipede, we delete that centipede, and it looks like that's working. Oh, I see. We have the new X and the new Y. I changed the centipede creation code, so I now have to adjust it. So put you in a comment. We got the new X and the new Y. Let me double check something. So the old approach was that we got the segments. Cool. We got the segment. Move Y. We got the segments. And then when we come back over here to our game, we loop through each centipede. And we get a start Y. The programming is going slowly. Well, let's not, no. It's going well, but there are a couple pieces that I think could be done better. So, like, I have it bouncing successfully off the walls, which I think is great. I have the destruction of the mushrooms, which is fine. As you can see, it's snaking now through the various what would be mushrooms and bouncing along. I have it disabled currently, but I got the would-be spiders or pseudo spiders working and moving across the screen. But I rewrote the Centipede code so that it behaves a bit better, and I'm just kind of finishing that implementation right now. At this particular point, I think I've decided that though I do enjoy working on this particular game, trying to get it perfectly polished, I don't know if it's worth it. So I may I may get it to a point, to the point where I finish it, where I finish these things, the bullet collision, the ship collision for the Centipede, and then implement the levels. And then once that's done, I'll probably just call it about as finished as I'm going to finish it, and then move on to another game. Just because I don't know if I care enough about Centipede as a game to really polish it off. I think I want to actually try to spend my time and actually polish and perfect like a side scroller. That I think I would feel far more polished about. But otherwise, for the short amount of time that I've spent on it, I have, I think, not terrible implementation of a lot of functionality. I've implemented quite a bit of code, so I'm not unhappy with the results so far. Again, it's not nearly as perfect as I could. Like you saw the bug that happened right there. So yeah, I don't know if I want to spend enough time polishing it. I don't know if it's worth it for me to do that. I'm just not so passionate about Centipede. Like, I thought it was a fun experiment, and it is. It's really helped me to like enjoy what can be done with P5, but I don't know if I don't feel enough inclination to be like, I got to make it absolutely perfect. Just because there's a lot of little mechanics, and even now looking back upon it, I think I might have done some stuff differently. So like, I probably would have used or implemented a grid system to start. Yeah, see what happens down here at the bottom. The Centipede kind of breaks up. I probably would have implemented a grid system to start rather than doing what I did, which was just kind of create the Centipede and have it move down the screen. So the mushrooms are on a grid though, so I did implement that. I found that was a lot easier for mushroom creation. And I did, of course, get the speed working, so now I can increase the speed of the Centipede moving down the screen, and it no longer bunches up like it used to. But it's by no means perfect. So there's just a ton of collision mechanics involved in this, but it's not horrible. But it did teach me a lot about like how P5 works and how to implement collisions and maybe some best practices when dealing with P5. So yeah. Let's see. So let's double check our bullet collision. We get the new centipedes, which, okay, start X, start Y, that's what we want. And we get the new direction. And we pass in the new X and the new Y. The centipede speed. Oh, we never passed in the centipede color. So yeah, it should be whatever this current centipede color is. The new centipede length. Centipede speed and the length and the new direction. Yeah, so that should be that. Let's double check our Centipede v2 code. So we have it passing in. Let's close you over to the left. The X. Push you down a little bit. The X, the Y, the oh, your color first, not speed. Color, speed, length, and direction. Cool. All right, so that should generate our new centipedes when they're hit. Let's go back and make sure all of that works. It kind of does. Not quite right. Let's refresh that and see what we get. Sometimes there's too many mushrooms on the screen. Let's go ahead and get rid of those. Mushrooms to create 50, 0. So it generated a mushroom, but it didn't split in the middle. Oh, there we go. So that's what I wanted. Now if I can hit it again. Yep. Okay, so that works. Cool. So we have our mushroom collisions in place. I still think it's a little off. Yeah, that's not right. Wait. Yeah, something's off. It's so one of the things that when it hits a mushroom, when you destroy a centipede piece, it generates a mushroom, and I noticed that it's not generating a mushroom in the right spot. Freshwater lake won't freeze over because the surface water actually evaporates. Oh, wow. Where do you live that it's so cold? Like, it's not that cold up here. Let's take a look. How cold is it where I am? Let's see. Let's look at the temperature. It's 50 degrees Fahrenheit and 10 degrees Celsius. So it's not that cold. Like, it's cold enough for like a hoodie, but not even cold enough for a winter coat. When we generate, let's see, we should dispatch event to delete the bullet, and we should dispatch an event to. Oh, well, yeah, okay then. Yeah, that's. I've never been to Norway. How is it? What's it like? Let's find mushroom details. X and Y. That's right. Yeah. Let's put a breakpoint in here and see what's going on. Debugger. Actually, we don't want to put it there. Create a single mushroom. We find the closest cell. One in here. Let's see what happens when we hit a mushroom. No. Position 10. Oh, I see. And the position X. 10. No, that's right. Get the position for this key, which is correct. And find out the smallest distance. These are good keys. We get the distance between it and the closest potential mushroom. Yeah, no, that looks all right. We then should generate a new mushroom at that spot. Yeah, no, that looks correct. That looks off. Nope, everything looks good. Well, I hope it gets warmer there, but I imagine it's just going to be cold there for quite some time. Oh, I know why. I know why. It works fine for the others. Yep, okay, I get what's going on. But camping outside now are for people who have special interests and it can drop down to below -45. Well, I'm not a camping person. I'm very much so a hardcore indoors person, but like I applaud those who wish to camp outside. I applaud those who wish to camp outside. So you're working fine on the grid. You're creating it. It's that part. It seems to it for some reason. It destroyed. Huh. Destroy the mushrooms. It generates the mushrooms. And then once we're destroyed, it should never create a new centipede. We splice it. We delete the bullets. We create the new centipedes. And we advance a level. Oh, I see. I see. So, I wonder if we're hitting this accidentally. Yep, I know what we're doing. So it's because we've destroyed that last mushroom, it's trying to advance a level. And what we need to do is we need to check to make sure there's no centipedes whatsoever on the screen. So, but yeah, no, I'm not an outdoors person. I couldn't. I thought that I was once that type of person, but then I realized that nope. But I do know people who are, and they love it. If you're a person who enjoys going outside, then good on you. Yeah, I am not a camper whatsoever. Yeah, I like air conditioning and technology, and I must admit I get too bored otherwise. Um, if I don't have something to keep me busy, then I'm not one to be like, so what do you want to do? Just relax and read a book. No, I need to be like listening to music, reading a book, doing like five other things for it to work for me. So I tried it when I was young and was a Boy Scout. It was fine, but not as I've gotten older. Yep. Let's add in the static levels. There's the centipede colors. Sport cons. What did I decide? The number of centipedes should be 1. So the centipedes doesn't increase. The Norwegian Tourist Association has huts with regular intervals along the paths. Hmm. Hmm. I've never been. Um, Norway sounds nice but cold. Like, what's it like in the summertime? Like, is it as like I don't know what the temperatures are like in the summertime. So like, it does get very hot. Um, and I'm not even in the Midwest. I'm on the East Coast and the Northeast Coast, so I can't imagine how hot it gets. For 1, 1, 2, 2, and 3. Hold on a second. My math is not very good, nor is my understanding of non-American or non. I guess it's not royal. It's not even American. What's the Celsius to Fahrenheit? Yeah. And what we want are what 20? Oh, that sounds. It's still pretty chilly for I think some people. Like our summers get up to like 90ish. And that's on a good day. We've had some go up to 100. I've had it go up to as high as like 92. So like we get to like 33 degrees Celsius sometimes. Let's not even talk about like Texas. Like I don't. That's that can be pretty vicious. Centipede level count. Yeah, no, it gets now. It also, yeah, I mean, it also depends on here. The cities get a bit warmer, but no, you right now. Let's see. I think I told you it's what is the temperature here is. Yeah, it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit and 10 degrees Celsius. So your your summer is our like winter here. It's not even winter. It's technically fall. I'm corrected all the time by my partner that it's like it's not yet winter. It's still fall. So, um, uh, mushroom count. Let's do another map over here. Yeah, no, I'm just I'm fairly lucky. I like where I live. It's not nearly as populated as some others, um, but the cost of living here is pretty good. What's the cost of living like over there in Norway? 27 and 2022. That's what I messed up. Because that's one of the reasons that I stay where I'm at. The cost of living here is pretty good. Um, so two. But no one needs to leave another. But one needs to leave Mother Moose alone. Burrowing Swaskins be nasty. Um, I don't think. Now hold on a second. Now I gotta look. Um, dangerous animals where I live. Um, we don't really have much here. I guess it looks like we get some brown recluse spiders. So we get some swans. Uh, let's see what else we get. I don't know. I gotta look. Dangerous animals where I live. Oh, we do have bears here. We have some bears. We get some rattlesnakes, some coyotes, but not very many. We do get some bobcats. We have black widow spiders and we have ticks. But that's about it. That's all we really have here. That's and I may say that's to say that's all we really have. But like you're not running into that in most of the cities. So, 100 US per electrical period. That's pretty reasonable. Like our cost of living around here is pretty good too. But it really depends. So like other states, it varies from state to state here. So it's you know people might be like, your cost of living is great. Well, it depends on which state you're in, and it depends. So some of the southern states in the U.S. aren't nearly as prepared for winter weather as the northern states. So some of the southern states, when it does get cold, their infrastructures aren't always prepared for it. Not to say that none aren't, just aren't. So when that happens, you get some major electrical spikes. There were, I don't know if you care or pay attention to like electric costs in like the winter, but Texas wasn't prepared for some cold, and it ended up causing some skyrocketing electric bills. Um, in Texas because they weren't really set for it. So it really all depends. Yeah, so like somebody had like a $5,000 electrical bill. Not to say that it's not impossible to have, but like they not every state is prepared for it. So you get some anomalies like this where somebody will have to pay a $5,000 electrical bill. Now, hopefully, they got it handled and settled, but like it depends on where you are, and that's kind of sad. So and it also depends on what you have going for you. If you're lucky, you've put in some solar panels, but that's not always the case. So to change that, I'm not happy about that. Let's move you out of the way. I gotta find a spot for this chat because I tried to put it in there. you 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 say you have stiff electrical costs. Oh boy, the U.S. you would be surprised by the U.S. and its terribleness. We don't have that protection here. Um, so yeah, we don't we don't get that protection here. So I know exactly. We get that all the time. So oh, I'll just leave chat off for now until I got to figure out what's going on with my. We'll remove it for now. I was displaying the chat on the screen, but the background won't set, so I'll have to take away. But yeah, we in the U.S. It really all depends on the state to state. Some, and again, so like sure, there's some federal rules, but as I'm sure you know, if you've ever talked to any Americans, we have some federal things that apply, but a lot of it comes down to each state's individual approach to how they want to take things. Some will follow along and have like a grid, and actually I think the U.S. is broken up into sections, so it really all depends. And one of the things that we did allow, so there are multiple things set up, so I can only talk about for me personally. I guess I could always research it, but for me personally, the way it works in Pennsylvania is there's the grid, and then you can choose to a provider for electricity if you want to. So if you don't pick a provider, you just pay whatever your particular local electric company has to pay. If you do pick a provider, you could potentially get a lower rate, and it really all depends. So you can shop for your rates, and that will be a determiner. So and that determines your supplier rate, so forth and so on. If you don't shop for a rate, it's again set to whatever. And usually what everyone does here, you don't have to, but you lock in a rate for a period of time. If you don't lock in your rate for a period of time, then the rates will vary from month to month, and they will charge you from month to month. So usually what most people do within the area is usually every 6 months to a year, we go online, we shop for potential electric rates, and then once you find a rate that you like, and a provider that you like, so some providers are all green, so they use solar and wind and what have you. Some are just using coal, some are just using gas, but you find a rate that you like, and then you get that provider to lock in that rate for you for anywhere from 6 months up to 2 years, and that's what you do. And if 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just kind of at the mercy of whatever the electric company charges you. $1 per kilowatt hours to produce it. Yeah, no. We don't have that type of stuff here, so I think I can show you. So we have let's see if I can get an explanation. Let's see if we can find a version. Yeah, there it is. So we pay for the provider, and then there is a delivery charge that we have absolutely no control over. So we pay for the provider's rate, which can be, however much per kilowatt hour. And it ranges. There's not like one set in stone. So let's see if I can find. Let's look at the current PPL rates. Let's see. Yeah. The current price to compare, and it ranges. So let's see if I can find the current residential service for prices to compare are listed here. So it's in cents. Price to compare per kilowatt hour is 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So I don't know if that's expensive or high compared to the rest of the world. So these are some of the rates that we would run into, but the price to compare is around here. I mean, yeah, that's how that goes. Countries will be countries. I mean, we complain about oil here. I don't know if we complain as much about electricity, but I mean, it is what it is. We complain about the oil more so than we complain, or gas more so than we complain about electric bills here. But that's usually our biggest thing. And it also depends, by the way, I'm talking electricity for me, but it also depends on like a whole bunch of other things going on. So like, since in the US we allow for natural gas, you can reduce some of your electric costs but up your natural gas costs. You can have oil heat, you can have electric heat. It really all depends on a variety of different factors about where you live and what's going on and how you have your house set up. So like when I moved in when I moved into my house, I had a electric furnace that heated the house, and that was going to be very expensive. So I swapped it out for a natural gas furnace because it was cheaper at the time. But some people have oil heat, and that ranges from, costs. Do you have a dishwasher? Do you have do you just do a normal wash, like a clothes washer, so forth and so on? So let's see, 11. Let's look at the Norway. What is it? Is it called OR to US dollar? Yeah. What's the conversion rate? OR to US dollar. What is it? So, really? Per kilowatt is the current 1.7 NOK? XP tokens. I don't know what you are. What is Norway's currency? Oh, I see. So, what is it? The krone. So what? Yeah, I guess. So let's look. If I were to look at my current, give me a second. I'd have to look at my current bill. I don't keep it on hand. Let's see, PPL. So that sign in. Let's see. My current usage, monthly energy usage. Yeah, the current supplier rate for my company is this. It is 11.028 cents per kilowatt hour. So that's what it is for us. And my current supplier rate, like I said, which is locked in for a period of time, is 9.6. So what'll happen is in probably another, I'd have to double check when mine ends, but they'll send me a message letting me know. I will sit down and, like I said, compare. And yeah, so this is what the original rate is, and like I said, this is what mine is per kilowatt hour. So this is what we do. But again, like I said, it really depends on what your house setup is like. And I don't know if you have as much choice over that, but again, in the U.S., you can choose whether you know how you want to power your house. You could have solar. You could have some people. What is that in, like? You happen to know that in, like, U.S. dollar conversion? Sorry, I just don't know. But yeah, it depends on your whole house setup. You could have solar if you live on certain types of land. 6 NOK. Is it? What's a NOK versus a krone, if I may ask, because I don't know. Let's look. Actually, open a new tab. Let's look at Norway NOK. There it is. Why do they keep giving me that? NOK to. Is it actually called a NOK instead of a krone? Oh, okay. Is 50.56. Oh, yeah, you guys are a lot more expensive than we are in the US. If that's because we're only at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So, oh, I see. Is the Norwegian krone? Yeah. Wow. Wow. So you say it's 6 per kilowatt hour? Yeah, that is quite a bit more expensive than us here in the U.S. At least where I'm at. Like I said, it's only at 11%, 11 cents right now. So 0.11. That's how much we pay. But I think you said that already. Like 1 point. You said that up there. Like 1. Yeah, 1.7 NOK. Yeah, that's how much it is if I buy it from my normal company, but it is actually 0.096 is what I'm paying. So about 1.3 is what I pay per kilowatt hour. But again, I'm not offsetting it with any solar. If I lived on one of because there are farms around here that have like small ponds, not ponds, small like rivers and streams running through it. I could add in wind, a small amount of water to offset it, not a large amount. Then there are several people who use, because there's more than enough wood around here, they have wood burning stoves to help heat their houses, so then they're not using up nearly as much electricity or gas. There's just so many ways that you can offset it, depending upon how your house is set up and what you have going on. So, yeah. So, but cost of living, at least where I am, is I kind of like it. It's not too bad. Well, so again, being in the U.S., we're very independent about that. So like, you can be on the what we call grid, and then you can get your electricity from the supplier, so forth and so on. But you can, of course, go and have an electrician, a combination of an electrical engineer and electrician, set you up with solar or wind or water, and you can offset your particular house if you want to. Now, of course, like I said before, in the US, you can, most but not all electric companies allow you to pick a provider. So you can pick a, let's look, PA Electric, because I'm in Pennsylvania, electric, there are some clean energy providers, and you can pick a clean energy provider to use that will only use clean energy. So you can choose one of those providers, but oftentimes those providers charge a little more, but it might be worth it for you if you feel very strongly about that. But it is not something that you have to pick. Green Mountain Energy is one. Let's take a look at them. Green Mountain, for instance, is one of the, if I can pull up the website, pull it out. Yep, there it is. So yeah, Green Mountain Energy is one of the companies that offers solar provider, so a solar supplier. So they only use green energy. You can choose them as your supplier for your electric. Of course, you still have to pay for the delivery fees to the electric company, but then your supplier, of course, of your energy is Green Energy Mountain. And of course, like I said, you can always do like the Tesla solar, what have you. Let's see. Yep, there it is. Electric prices, taxes. Can you guys pick a supplier? So like, again, we get to pick suppliers here, so we can choose how we get our electric, or who we get our electric from, whether it can be coal or oil or so forth and so on. We can pick our individual suppliers, and those suppliers can generate that energy however they so choose to generate that energy. So, but yeah, we get to pick our supplier, and then PA Electric suppliers. Yeah, nope. I'm in Pennsylvania, so we have a massive, I don't want to say massive, but like, here are all of our electrical suppliers. And again, they range. Some of them are nuclear, some of them are gas, some of them are clean energy, like the one that I mentioned before, which was Green Mountain. Yeah, Green Mountain. They're all done with solar and wind. I don't think we have any hydro power, but there could be some mixed in here that I don't know about. So there's not, yeah. This is just Pennsylvania. This is just Pennsylvania. This isn't like even New Jersey or New York. Yeah, this is just Pennsylvania's list of suppliers. So we get a lot of choice here. I don't know if it does as much as we imagine, but there is quite a bit of choice here. So let's see. We level plus plus. Get them through create. So mushrooms to create equals here. So dot get base it upon the current level. Dot get level. But we have, I think we can do it with our gas too, but we use natural gas over here. But again, there's so many factors into as to what determines like your household's electric bills. So like, and your household's other bills, like how you choose to do your wash. There's a ton of stuff here. So mushrooms create, centipedes and spiders, ship lives, score, centipede speed to start off with, and I think I set this up in the types. So mushrooms, centipede speed for levels 1, 2, leave 1, 3, 1.5, 4 is going to be 1.5, and then at 5 we're going to get to 2. Game centipede speed is going to be centipede speeds that I get, and it's based upon the level. Then when we advance the level, we need to get the mushrooms to create. So we say mushrooms to create is now going to be equal to, based upon the level, centipede speed. Get the number of centipedes. Nice. What I have near me are, let's see, is it still, I don't, let's see. Nope, that one's closed. Done. I have a nuclear power plant near me, but I think I have a couple others as well. But we do have a nuclear power plant near me, and I have, I think, a couple others. Not nuclear power, but just other like energy producing plants. PA has a bunch of coal going for it, and we have some oil refineries in the area, so I think we have some of that going for us, not too far out of like New Jersey. And so there are a bunch that are around here, but again, you know, the states are kind of massive. Let's see. Let's see. Norway's pretty big. Yeah, you're 2.8 times bigger than Pennsylvania. So Yeah, we still have. Let's see. Let's look for. I think we have a couple. Um, we do. We have a couple. We have Beaver Valley, Limerick. There's two. Peach Bottom, Susquehanna, and 3 Mile Island, which is the decommissioning phase. But I think we have a bunch in the U.S. as a whole. So yeah, we still do. We have a bunch up here in the Pennsylvania, New York, New England area. We have some down here in the South. The Midwest has a few. We don't have hardly any out here. I guess less in the Midwest, and some in there. But that's about it. Let's take a look. I see. Yep, I see it. Yep, so there's that one, and I guess there's another one. But yeah, no, we have a bunch here in the U.S. I don't know. I don't know if we're looking at decommissioning them. And this one is dedicated to research. Yeah, no, we ours are still going strong here. Because as far as I know, there's a lot of power requirements, and I don't know when we would shut down. Pennsylvania nuclear. What? Yeah. Yeah, we still have a bunch here. I don't think we generally worry about it. Peach Bottom is the one that's closest to me. They are boiling reactors are each rated at 1,065 megawatts electrical. I guess none of these are per se too far from me. Montgomery County isn't too far. Beaver County isn't too far. So, yeah, only 116 megawatts. But I guess it's not nuclear. So yeah, these are the few that remain. Each rated at and these are each So I don't know why we have such major power needs in the U.S., but we do, because we're unreasonable here for some strange reason. Centipede count. So centipede level count level for the level. Not get generate for loop x less than centipede count, and then x plus plus, and generate a new centipede. Let's find all the references to the centipede version 2. Yeah, do one of you. Say start x 10. We need a new centipede color, which we need to get the number of centipedes from here. Centipede color. Centipede. Oh, I think we need to set it up here, so we don't have to do that. Yeah, centipede colors. I'll just copy you. Color. We get it based upon the level. We should do the same thing up at the top. Centipede color is based upon the level, and level is 1. And it will just continue to stay that way. The centipede speed. Oh, thank you very much. You have a good evening. Take care as well. Please feel free to pop by again and chit chat. and the centipede speed. Speed, we'll just do the same thing down here. Options create, grid stays the same. We get the centipede speed. Pass in the levels, all of that. All right. We advance the level. And let's take a look. Did we break about anything? We have not. We do have the mushrooms that we want to create. Number of spiders. We should figure that out. So we generate the new spider. Spiders to push. We don't do any spider creation just yet. Start spider creation right here. Create a single spider. First we have to check how many spiders were max. Get max spiders. Const max spiders is going to be the max spider level equals dot get based upon the level. If spiders dot length is greater than or equal to max spiders, then just return. Don't do anything else. We only allow a max to start off of 1. That will create our max number of spiders and our max number of centipedes. Let's see if this works. It does not, because there's 2 spiders already. And there's a third. Well, that's no good. Well, let's take a look at this. We push in 1, the max spiders. Let's come down here. Put a debugger in here. Let's take a look at where you are, debugger. Okay. Oh, I know why. Because we've already started it. We actually need to move you inside. Set timeout. It starts it again. And let's stop you here. So, we got 1. Let's destroy the centipede and see if we get a color change. Okay. We are not advancing in level. I see. Let's see why. Why are we not advancing in level? Let's look for our code to advance the level. So when we advance in level, we generate new mushrooms. We should generate new centipedes. Let's put a debugger in here. So let's destroy stuff. We've hit the debugger. There's still 3 centipedes left. Let's put a breakpoint here. Let's kill more centipedes. You're good. Let's actually take you out because we don't need you. And let's play. Let's see if we generate the things that we want without breaking. And eventually one day I might rewrite this and break it into so that it uses key presses. Hit the destroyed spiders. But centipedes dot push. Let's take a look at something. Let's log our centipedes dot length here and see what's going on. And let's track it here. Let's move you over so that we can see what's going on. And then at one particular point, let's start poking it. Maybe making some different stuff. So we'll destroy you. 2. 3. How many do you think is around? You think 3? I think there are 3. Bullet hit centipede. Delete centipede. And I guess centipedes.splice. I guess we should do it down here instead. Let's see how that works. Let's try deleting a bunch of mushrooms, deleting a bunch of nope, didn't get hit. Even though we've hit the delete centipede event listener, at least I think we have. So let's put you back where you were. So we've bullet hit a centipede. And then let's come over here to our Centipede v3, where we need to delete bullet, create mushroom, and the bullet hit centipede. So then we come over here, and every time the bullet has hit a centipede, we loop through and for each. If it... Oh, it's because we're returning. We literally exit out of it. No wonder. So, yep, it was totally me exiting out of it. And let's delete all of you. Delete these mushrooms. It's pretty easy right now. Can't hit anything to save my life. No. Nothing. We're not getting anything. We're not advancing in levels. Let's put a breakpoint in here where we console.log again. Let's do centipedes.length to see what's going on. If there's no new centipede to create, then, oh, something's wrong here. I see the problem. If there's no new centipedes to create, in Centipede v2, when we hit the bullet, if there's no segments, we don't push anything, but the bullet did hit the centipede. And we splice it off. Single piece destroyed ID. So we should find and oh, I see the problem. I am only doing this when I was only doing it when there were new centipedes. But I need to be able to splice off and delete those centipedes even when there's none to create. So let's see what happens. I think that's also cleaning up some stuff so that there's not dormant centipedes lying around. Because I think what I was having happen was that there were empty centipedes, and even though the centipedes were actually empty, yep, there we go. So there's the level. The level happened. The mushrooms didn't change color, but I'll change that around so that the mushrooms change color as well. Nice. And then here's our levels advancing. So we've made progress. Let's see. Nothing special. We have multiple centipedes moving down the screen. We should probably give them a small delay. So yeah, that's not too bad. So let's do a couple of things. So this part is working. We now have it advancing levels. We need to give a score every time it completes, but we've added the levels, which is what I had planned to do to begin with. So we've added the levels. We've added that. We handled the bullet collision, which is what I wanted to do. So this part is done. And I guess, is there a strike through? Let's see. Clear style. Style? Uppercase, lowercase? I don't know if there's a strike through. Let's see. Let's catch a drink here. Let's see. I don't think I have a strike through. Language, settings, tools. Markdown is pre-installed. I don't know if I have a strike through. We'll just say that we're done. So we've handled the bullet collision. Implement the levels. This part is also done. Now we just need to add ship collision for the centipede. And then the other thing we need to add is we don't need that. The other thing we need to add is oh, there are a few things that we need to add. So that does levels. So now, as we've kind of done an implementation, we want to add a delay for new centipede creation, and we want to randomize new centipede direction. So once that's done, and then, oh yes, we wanted to add mushroom color change on level change. So, let's go ahead and add a delay for the new Centipede creation. So to make that happen, let's see what we want to do. When we advance the level, we create a new Centipede. So every time we do it, we're going to pick a new direction. And we want to add a delay. So we can create a constant delay. I saw this function the other day. Const delay. We'll make you asynchronous. And you're going to be equal to delay in milliseconds. And you're going to be equal to, what is it? There's a really neat function I found. JS delay. Yeah, there's somebody wrote one using a promise. Yeah. Here it is. It's kind of neat. I guess it's not that neat. But there we go. Delay in milliseconds, delay in milliseconds. Cool. So now we can come down here and say wait. Wait delay of 1 second. We pick a direction, we wait. Let's go to where we call this advance in level. Await. And you're going to be an asynchronous function. And you're going to also be an asynchronous function. I don't think I call delete Centipede anymore. Let's take a look into all of our code and see where we call it. Oh, yeah. We do. Where we splice. Yeah, we don't advance levels here. But wait to advance the level. So let's see. So let's go back to our notes here. And we wanted to add a delay for new Centipede creation. This is done. Randomize new ship direction. I think we did that as well. So every time we generate, randomize new Centipede direction. So we do that every time we generate a new one. That is also done. And now we wanted to add in a mushroom color change. So let's go over here to our types. Now we did do it for centipedes. But let's do it for the mushrooms as well. So export const mushroom colors. New map. Map's my new favorite thing. I'll use this for a while, and then I will be like, I've overused the map, and that's what's going to happen. It totally is. So let's go and look for HTML colors. So currently we're using red. So the first color is going to be the red that I've been using. But let's change the others. Let's change it. We only do 5 levels at the moment, so like that's all there is to it. 3, 4, and 5. Let's change it to. So we use. It's going to be orange. Let's go with blue then to offset that. So the centipede will be orange, and the mushrooms will be blue. In this one, the centipede will be blue, and then the mushrooms will be. Let's make them yellow. And then when it's purple, let's make it green. And then when it's yellow, let's make it this color blue. Yeah. So colors over there. Close it down. Let's do this. These are mushroom colors. And then when we come over here to our game, we'll grab them to start. Let's come up here to start. Let's do let mushroom colors equal to mushroom colors.get, and we'll get it based upon the level. And then when we create our mushrooms, mushroom helper, create mushrooms, this stuff, create mushrooms, generate single mushroom, grid mushroom exists. No, that's not it. Mushrooms, here it is. New mushroom, color. I don't know why I'm not generating a unique identifier for this like everything else. But I should, but not right now. Color is going to be equal to this. So when we come over here to mushroom to generate it, new mushroom, we're going to pass in our color. Create single mushroom color. E.detail and mushroom, what? Mushroom color. Sorry. You create single mushroom, mushroom color. Create single mushroom, blah, 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 blah. And then when we create mushrooms, mushroom count and the color. And then we also pass in the color here. Grid and color. Color. And mushrooms to create, we come back here to game and the mushroom color. So object arbs is not what? Object is not a valid color. Let's trace through that again. So in our game, we mushrooms create, oh yes, mushroom color. There we go. Mushroom color, mushroom color. Mushroom helper. Mushroom helper. Find. And we have to pass in the new mushroom color. Increase the centipede speed at certain levels. We did that already. Get mushroom color per level. And we do that up above anyway. So we'll just mimic you. So now when we create the mushrooms, we say mushroom colors equal to that, da 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 da. Cool. So we add mushroom color changes on level change. Done. Done. We've implemented levels. Done. We have not implemented scoring. Implement Centipede scoring. And then the last thing we have to do, let's add the collisions for the ship. We've done it before, but let's just in case. So let's close everything. Let's come over here to Centipede version 2. And let's look at Centipede version 1. Did we handle collisions with the ship? We didn't. We handled this inside ship. Handle our Centipede collisions. So let's look at this code to make sure that it still works. If we don't have any centipedes, we exit. We get the length of the centipedes. We get the current centipede. And we look through all the segments. We get the individual segment. If this did collide with current segment, then we delete the ship. And this, and does it have an object.r? Let's double check. Segments, I don't think have an object.r. They have a diameter. So instead of did collide with circular object, did collide with centipede segment. And oh, I see. So I needed to use you. Let's roll some of that back. Did collide with spider. And you do use an R. So did collide with spider. And then did collide with centipede segment. We destroy the ship. And we destroy the centipede. And we break. Yeah. And we handle centipede collision on the game level. Centipedes. Oh. Yeah, no. So let's see if this works. Now I've noticed that my centipede is different from the one from the game, but that's okay. I'm not too bothered by that. Oh, I think I found a bug. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Yep, I think I've messed something up. Because our collisions are behaving weirdly. Yeah, I think something's off with my collisions. You collide and you're way down there. But let's see what happens when we run into the ship. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Manage ship. If no centipedes. Yeah, we got centipede segments. This rectangle or circular. So I don't see anything in here. Collide with mushroom. Did collide with bullet. Let's rewind you. Ship. I should probably change this so that it doesn't calculate the centipedes at every round. Because it only can collide past a certain point. So we should only care about it when the y of the centipede is greater than our boundary. So let's put that in there. Only care when below a certain level. If current segment, current segment dot y is greater than what's our limitation for our game? One second. Let's see. So let's see. Where's our ship? Calculate mouse horizontal position. Calculate mouse vertical position. Canvas size. So that's the horizontal limit. Vertical limit is if it's below this dot canvas size divided by 4 times 3, which I think I have calculated over here. Yeah. So down here, when we do our collision, if the segment is, and ultimately you'd want to leave this as a static number, canvas size, if it's less than, continue. There's nothing to do. So let's see. Yeah. Let's delete a bunch of stuff. Let's see what we have happen. It's going to bounce. Yeah, see, it seems to be behaving just fine there. Bounce. Bounce. Squeeze through there. Bounce. 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 Yeah, it seems to be okay there. So, yeah. Alright, looks like we got about 10 more minutes. I think we'll be able to finish. Ooh, that didn't look right at all. But I see what happened there. It bounced off the wall. So I think as I proceed down this path, I've realized that there are a few things that I think I can improve upon with my next game. And that is collision handling. But I don't know if I'll have fluid collisions like this. But I do want to make a side scroller. It seems fun. We're almost there. You don't really know anything there. So it is respecting destroyed mushrooms, which is fine. Let's see if collisions work. Oh, it's still too far. So we'll see how that goes. But I think the side scroller will be interesting. I'm thinking about making a... no. Hold on a second. So we've checked here. Let's go back here. Handle centipedes. Set boundaries. Manage ship. We run all of them when we were going to do the draw. We manage it. Spiders and the centipedes. So, We don't have a spider, by the way, which is weird. We did want to advance a level, I guess. I see. I don't see. Oh, there it is. I don't see the spider for one. It should be the same color as the centipede, but we'll get to that. Why don't I see any more spiders? Manage. So many little things. Let's just do one at a time. I don't see any. But that's not what I'm worried about. Let's finish focusing on you. If the spider's is that length, let's put a debugger here. Oh, there it is. You still work? Yeah, you still work. And oh, you restarted. You should still be creating more spiders. Let's up that. So let's come over here to our game. Let's up the number of spiders created to you. So every 10 seconds. And then, so we don't have any more spiders yet. Let's see. Oh, we need to leave the inspect window open so we can see what's going on. And then still don't see any. No spiders yet, huh? Oh. Wait a second. Wait a second. We made it disappear, but it's not gone, is it? Get level. So there's one. Let's see. It still sees just one. Let's see, I don't think that's right. Let's create one every 5 seconds. So you're not triggering like I expected you to. So it's not right. Nothing. So I see. I think I messed something up here. So let's take a look at this. We wait, we create a single spider. We don't do anything. Oh, we don't restart the timer. So we need to start the timer. We dispatch the event. And after the first time, we need to turn off the timer. So we come down here and we create it. And then we wait a few minutes. So we run it the very first time. And we create it. And it's here. We say if the number of the spider's length is less than the max spiders, then we create it. That's what I messed up on. Then we create it. Otherwise, we just keep going. So let's test that out. Well, there's me destroying my ship. Bounce. So we've destroyed it, and it moves down. Okay, cool. But we don't allow more than one to be created. So we create another one. Destroyed our ship again. Creates another one. Another one. Another one. All right, cool. So we fixed the spider issue. That's still pretty fast. Let's increase your time to like 10,000. So cool. Looks like we'll have to wait and work on the centipede collisions next time. 7,000. Yeah, it reminds me about as much of annoying as the spiders were in the normal centipede. I never got to the scorpions. Um, let's wait a few more minutes. Yeah, let's wait a few more minutes. Less minutes, more. A couple seconds. We'll see if it hits the spot. I want to see how these collisions are behaving, and then we'll let it go. And we'll finish off the remaining pieces. Because we haven't done centipede scoring yet. We did. We're currently working on add ship collision for the centipede. But otherwise, we're not making bad progress. And I think the next game I'm going to start to work on is a side scroller. Or, yeah, I guess a side scroller. Let's try that. I think creating a custom map, kind of like a Legend of Zelda, will be pretty difficult. But we'll see. Nothing. Now, I know you're there. Handle, spider collisions, centipedes. Okay. Since we have you here, let's speed you up. Let's try that. Let's comment you out. 3. And we actually can put a breakpoint in here. Since we have all of it, let's go to our ship.js and go down to our collide spiders. Yeah. And we'll put a breakpoint in here. Take it away. See what happens. So here we are. Here's our breakpoint. We got one centipede. Cool. So let's play. We got all our segments. Step over you. Nope. Play. Play. Wait, what? Okay. Step into you. What? Okay. What? Less than current centipede dot segments. Oh. Me being an idiot. Look at what I've done. Centipedes dot length. Current segments dot length. Now that should work. We gotta wait for it to hit. Slowly move down the screen. Skip. Let's hit play. Yep, I see where I forgot. So my collision worked. My collision worked. We delete the centipede. That worked. We needed to advance, so we need to do this. Advance. Excuse me. And we no longer need the console log. So I think we've hit about as far as I'm going to go this evening. We have the collision with the spider. We have the collision with the centipede. We have our level advances. So we have the level advancing. We don't have the color change of the spider yet, but that's not necessarily something we have to worry about. We've got our two spiders going. We need to change up how far they can go. So this is yeah, this is all right. We need to increase the delay. We need to do several things. So we need to come back to our game pieces. We need to generate the mushrooms first. And generate the mushrooms first. with the new mushroom color. Then we generate the centipedes. And we need to create a delay of like 3 seconds. And we need to allow the spider to go up further. So yeah, the next thing we have to do is track in scoring. So every time you destroy a centipede, a segment piece. Cool. All right, so I think we've kind of created a good stopping point for right now. Let's bring back over the list. We've added our ship collision. And now we just need to implement scoring for the centipede. And I think that's where we'll call it quits, and so that'll be tomorrow night. And then the only thing that we have left to do is we'll push it all up, push it up to GitHub, and kind of go from there. Yeah, that's where we'll kind of stop it for right now. All right. So I thank everyone for showing up. I hope everyone has a good start to their week. I hope everyone had a good weekend.